right, good morning. Welcome to TRS Live. Hey, welcome, guys. We have a podcast at 9 o'clock.
Yep. What time is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock.
Looks like we're right on time.
Is Mike all mic'd up?
Well, I'll be getting there.
There we go.
You guys
Morning,
are-
Dylan. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, everybody's running a little behind today. The weather's got everybody a little slower today. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
Good?
How are you this
Oh,
morning,
yeah,
sir?
we're doing great. Feeling Randy?
Thanks for waiting for us.
I would-
You guys are very considerate.
Well,
Yeah.
so it's 9 o'clock. You got fans in the queue, baby.
Yeah,
They
no.
waiting.
Hey, we see what's up.
Dylan's already on there?
Yeah, he's fired up this morning.
Yeah.
Mike, was there anybody on the river? Did you go by the river this morning?
I did not go by the river this morning. I'm sure there's some guys down there, I'm sure.
The landings are obviously still open yet, right?
Yeah, they put the docks in at Fox Point yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's nice of them to do that.
I know, right?
Don't they usually wait till like June?
Like April or
Yeah.
something? Yeah. And Metro, they'll put, they got 7 docks on there, but they'll put 2 in. Those probably won't get until like May.
So I saw a video from Troy Kraus
Yeah.
last weekend, and the conditions are probably going to be very much the same this weekend. He said that thing was an ice rink at Fox Point because the weather was
In the
obvious-
morning it was.
Yeah. Did it get better as the day
As the day went
progressed?
on, yeah. Once that sun got on it, because we fished Sunday, and my buddy was backing out everybody boat down, and it was just sliding. You guys were throwing salt and shit down, but then when that sun came up, everything was fine.
Well, now this weekend they're saying it's like middle 30s tops.
Yeah,
That's what I was just going to check.
And
It's like
more
the
snow, I think Saturday and the
Yeah, it
Sunday.
ain't,
Forecast.
we're not out of it yet.
No.
Saturday, Sunday, we're supposed to get another inch or two.
I heard 5 to 8
What?
this morning on the radio.
Oh, Christ!
yeah, I heard
almighty.
that same thing.
Yeah, so it wasn't just me being.
No.
Kyle,
Yeah,
Cut-
it's-
Kyle
zoning out
Carpenter wants to
driving.
know: did you just wake up, Mike?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Those squeepies.
Can you? We got goodies. You want to grab your goodies off that table, please, so everybody can see what you guys.
No, we can't let them see what we look. See, there it is. That's
There
what
it
we
is.
got.
So last week on the show, you guys did a phenomenal job covering jigs and plastics.
yeah.
Really nice job. And today we
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate
we were
that.
announcing we're going to do unconventional walleye baits, right?
Yeah.
Walleye tactics.
I'm sure some guys out there have used some of this stuff. I'll probably call a buddy or two of mine on some of this stuff. He'll probably punch in the face. Whatever.
Well, we
little
we
unconventionals.
touched on a little bit of little sampling
A
of
little bit last time.
unconventional last week. We just wanted to pull together a little bit more of I don't know, it's not walleye specific tackle. It's almost other species specific, like the way these companies market these lures
Correct.
are traditionally not towards the walleye angler, although I think the industry is becoming so blended now that I don't know, it's kind of neat just to see people helps open their eyes to what's available.
Right.
Yes.
And well, fish should be afraid because they're seeing a lot of
Many ways
Unique
to
stuff.
skin a cat, many ways to catch a walleye.
Correct, sir.
100% now.
So before we get into this, like we got to fire up our viewers, right? They got to do some liking and some sharing because Justin's got a rod you talked about last week that you're going to do as a giveaway just today.
Well, maybe today. Maybe I'm gonna have to hang on to it till next Friday. I don't know.
We'll
We'll
already
see what.
talking smack this
Well,
morning.
we gotta see
You
what
gotta
the
get some viewers up,
participation
yeah.
brings. But if we can get 25,
Across. So Andy, what we're at 5. So Andy, what platform are we on? Are we on again? Remind everybody. Okay. Okay, so we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Fix TV, obviously. So we're saying 25 across all 3 platforms, or do you want to specifically?
well, if Andy can monitor it, I think 25 across all 3 platforms, as long as they're unique. You know what I'm saying? Like, not Kyle's on
He's got it.
Facebook
Okay.
and the Real Shot, and you know what I mean. So like, I'd
Okay,
like to see
so-
25 unique individuals across the
So
platforms.
he just informed me he can only monitor like just the straight numbers, like not unique stuff, but just the straight numbers. So
All right, fine. 20,
so
straight numbers.
25. Well, then if that's the case, like if you're going based off of unique, you want to go up a little bit. You want to go to Churdy. 25. You said all right.
25. Let's do 25.
25.5.
So this fits into the non-traditional. This is a bass rod. This is a TFO, Temple Fork Outfitters. It's their Tactical Elite Bass Series, but this action is a 7-foot medium light Or 7.6. Thank you, Mike. 7.6 medium light spinning action. So this covers a lot of the finesse techniques in both bass and walleye. So this is a great crossover rod, and it fits into what we're trying to show you guys here today on the little series. So
Boom shot.
if we can get the 25.
Randomly select somebody.
Randomly select one of our awesome viewers and send her along.
Somebody knocking?
Someone's knocking.
Hello?
Hello?
Come on in.
Housekeeping.
Okay, so then the only thing they may have to cover the shipping and handling.
Shipping and handling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a
oversized 7.6. Trust me, it's worth the $20 or $30 it takes to get to your door.
Booyah!
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so we segue into this last week by talking about the Ned rig.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we left off as of last week, the Ned rig. And again, we want you, everybody that's firing up the chat, throw some comments, ask some questions, give us your suggestions. Brad's on here. What's up, Brad? Don't forget to tag somebody, Brad, and share it. Let's get a 25. So, Justin, now people have seen you fish head-to-head fishing. And I think way back into 2020, were you not throwing the Ned rig in one of those events?
Actually, the last event I fished with my wife, and we were, pre-fishing, screwing around, and we found a pot of fish. I just couldn't get them to go on anything. So I slowed it right down and just started slowly dragging and popping a Ned. And they ate it readily. So,
Grab any Ned heads, did you?
but it was just the mood. I was on that same pocket, that next day, and then they were eating blades. So like, it's not my number one go-to option, but it's it's in my box for a reason. You never know when you might need it, right?
So do you have like the Ned stuff in there at all?
I don't know if I grabbed any
You
heads.
didn't grab any heads, but you grabbed some plastics that I've actually used.
Because with that, like you're still fishing like just a Ned jig, right?
That's
Ned
it.
head.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's straight bass tackle. It's
So a shroom head,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
whether it's a Z-Man head or Super K head, or Berkeley makes a mushroom head. Also, we have a 4-foot section of just straight Ned heads.
Yep.
So we have 8 or 10 brands, multiple sizes, multiple hook sizes, and there's a Ned for every application.
Correct.
Ooh, what do you got there, Mike?
I got some Z-Man finesse PRDs. If you guys can see, I don't know what camera.
Right
we're
here.
looking
So
at.
if you want to, I'll pass it over here. The lighting has changed a little bit in here. It's a little
Yeah, it
more
does.
moody.
So I've noticed you put it in front of the mic and the zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
See it?
Yeah.
I like what you're liking here. You're liking what you're liking. And we can't open this one.
That one you can. I
Yeah,
think.
we
Okay,
can.
so this one. So we've done a couple of like TRS live shoppings and some fun TikToks on the Ned stuff because you can super stretch this
Stretch
stuff.
that baby. Show
Yep.
'em.
Should I?
Give it a pull, Matt.
All right, Andrew, you ready? Oh, let's get stretched on a Friday. Which way do I got to go so you can see the whole stretchy stretch? Look at that. It's so long, it's off screen. How many times can you?
How many times you dreamed about that? Go ahead.
Goes right back to place. So Ned rig, what is it about the Ned that you think triggers walleyes?
Well, it stands up vertically, and it just sits there in front of them.
It's just a straight kind of the same thought process behind a bucktail hair jig, right? It's a straight minnow profile.
Any different retrieves, or are you just letting it do like Mike said? You just letting it sit there and do its little thing?
I mean, yeah, it's you're looking for those fish to pick it off the bottom, so it's either a slow drag or maybe a little pop.
Yeah.
Depends on the mood. Again, you want to keep messing. It's kind of like the walleye cadence thing, right? You just want to try to figure out what action or what you do to that bait that triggers those fish. So
Yep.
it might be literally not moving it. It might
Right.
just be shaking it in spot or just hardly moving it at all.
I was using them on Bago a couple summers ago on some of these discrete rock piles that are like as big as a stable in the middle of the lake. And I'm running live scopes. I'm watching fish do nothing, not react at all to any of my presentations. And I had this in the box and I threw it down and I let it just sit there. And I kind of just drag it. I'd watch fish come up to it and then you'd watch them, boom, and smash it right at the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and like Dylan said, the first fish of the year for him was on a Ned with a Kitech. I mean, that's the cool thing about like the shroom style head is you can put basically anything on
on
it.
it. Yeah.
And it does a nice job. It sits up nice on the bottom.
Correct.
What's the Savage? The Savage has a couple of baits, but what is the Goby Ned that we carry?
Yeah. That style of Ned / finesse small plastic and or Elastec style baits. We got, I don't know, 12 or 14 feet of them. So
Yeah.
Z-Man has a bunch. They got a craw. They got a Ned. They have Savage has 2 or 3 different body styles we carry.
I just think with all the crayfish that are in that system, or not crayfish, the gobies that are in that system, I mean, why wouldn't you throw that thing?
Well, no, it could be gobies. It could be crayfish. Anything that lives on the bottom that fits in their mouth, they're going to try to eat. So it's the
worth a
dumbest
try.
bait in the planet. Senko Ned, it is it's a straight piece of plastic. You could probably find a piece of black licorice and fish it like that.
Probably could, yeah.
We should actually do that.
Well, the
Let's do
ant.
it.
I mean,
Let's do
black
it.
licorice smells like anise,
Right.
Yeah.
I might have just
You're onto something.
now you got a bait and you got a
got
snack.
Well, we found out last week that Mike's walleyes like chew.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
winter green and
Yep.
cherry and all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. Keep that skull, baby. So
That's
why not?
right.
Why not?
Right.
I was also informed, fellas, if we want to continue to remind people, we are at 11 and climbing. So we're getting. If you wanted to say 25 is a number, we're going to hit it today.
Hey, I want to give something away today. So let's
Right.
get
give it
there.
away. Give it away now.
Right.
What was that rod price? 220.
Yeah, it's north of $200. I think 219. We could look it up here quick.
Just for watching TRS Live Podcast.
Hey,
How
just
many
for
watching
just for
us?
joining
I mean,
us,
jeez.
listening to our nonsense, we appreciate
Okay.
it.
Right.
All right. So remember, that's 25 across all 3 platforms: YouTube, Fixed TV, and Facebook. And then Justin's going to randomly select somebody for a rod, a Temple Fork outfit
Yeah.
rod. All right. So moving on from the Ned, where do we want to go? You guys kind of flow it and show it.
Let's go spinner baits.
And I'm gonna let Mike's gonna take the lead on this
Ooh,
baby
a
because
spinner baits?
Yeah, for reals, dude.
I almost feel like
I got a couple things in
McConaughey
here.
showed everybody.
I got a couple things in here that I've caught fish on that I was like, I never even thought of. I don't know where that came from.
I've heard. I always call them French spinners, but the inline spinners catch them too.
oh for sure.
Yeah, I've never tried them, but I probably will. So
You're not what?
Yeah,
I know, right?
There's a story here.
Okay, well let's
get to
let's
So
that.
not,
I was
let's
on
not-
Bago one day.
Yep.
Me and my wife were out there, middle of the summer. We're fishing some shallow weeds, like 4 feet of water. Weeds are pretty thick, you know. And my normal technique wasn't working that day. And I ran into a buddy of mine out there. He's out there, no shirt on, looking all ripped and buff. My wife is like, "Oh my God, who's that guy in the boat?" You know.
Take him fishing.
I know, right? And I come up, it's my buddy Ross, and he's literally just crushing fish. I'm watching him just pound fish. And I ain't catching nothing. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" He's like, "Think bass, dude." And he yells at me. I'm like, "Carolina rig, jigging plastic or something, you know?" And
right.
nope, running spinner baits, double willow leaf over the top of the weeds.
Really?
Yes, just crushing walleyes.
You know, to me, it's just funny. Like, how do you accidentally stumble on that?
I think it's just, you know, you're in the weeds and whatever you're doing wasn't working. You're looking at your box and what can I throw in here that's not going to get snagged up nonstop?
Right.
But yet get some flash. It's a reaction bite. You're talking 4 feet of water. They're coming out of the weeds and just smashing it. You know what I mean? And
Right. Or
yeah.
it's like the walleyes aren't biting today. I bet you the bass are biting. Let's try fishing some bass style. And then you start crushing
Yeah,
walleyes
that
on it.
too. I know a lot of tournament walleye guys that have done that in the past while fishing bass.
Yep.
But yeah, he said we're throwing a double willow leaf, like a 3/8 ounce, and just crushing them. I'm like, okay, let me see what I got in the box. I had a couple, and that was game on.
Really?
Yes,
A quality fish?
yes.
Really?
But then you go out west. I know South Dakota and some of those reservoirs out in that area. I know guys will troll spinner baits.
Yeah, I was having that thought. I was talking
the
to a
weed
tournament
tops.
angler. I don't know if his name was
On the
Brian
tree
or
tops,
somebody,
yeah.
but yeah.
Just dragging these behind boards, sticking them through the timber and stuff
Shoot.
like that.
15 and climbing, just so you guys know as
Nice.
Good job.
But yeah, I mean, the double willow leaf style. You want to show that?
well. Yeah, I can show it. Yep. Andrew right here. So this brand maybe doesn't matter.
No, I don't
Flash.
think it does. Just something a little smaller profile, not real giant, obviously, you know.
So is it common for guys to pull that skirt off and add like a shad body, like a Kitech or like a?
You could, but we didn't.
You just ran it
Yeah,
straight
we just
up.
ran just like
Okay.
that, and I was just crushing fish.
You think about that. You pull the skirt off and you just throw any swim bait you want of whatever size you feel like you
Yep.
should run, and now you got a weedless presentation.
Yep.
You got flash. You got bites. I mean,
This is one I would have never thought of it until I watched McConaughey. and they were throwing 1 ounce spinner baits over the tops of those sunken trees.
Yeah, that might have been where my brain was going on that.
They were crushing Walters on doing that, and that's just, I mean, it just goes to show you, it's unconventional tactics, man.
Right.
Think outside of the box, literally, once in a while.
And like I said, that goes back to the plastics we were talking about last week with guys using just minnows. I had a guy in the other day. He saw our podcast last week.
Thank you for watching.
He's like, man, I saw you guys podcast, and he's like, man, I got 2 plastics. This is what I use, and it's just hard for me to go, throw a minnow on it. And I told him, I said, stop. I said, stop buying minnows.
Yes.
Run plastics.
Yep.
And he bought a bunch when he left. So if you're watching, please tell me you caught some fish.
Yeah, let us know. That is awesome. Look at it. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Ryan's on, Terry's on, Jason's on. Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Don't
guys.
forget, share it. We're going to go 25 across 3 platforms, and Justin's got a Temple Fork rod he's giving away. I was going to say that we talked to, on like the original TRS Live, when the MLF was in town, we talked to Ish Monroe.
Yeah.
And I talked to Ish Monroe, and I said, how do you get good at throwing the frog? And he goes, you just throw the frog. I'm like, what do you mean by that? He goes, you go out every outing and you throw the frog. You don't get tempted to reach in the box and grab a Cinco or grab what you're going to catch a fish on.
Yep.
He goes, you have to dedicate yourself to the frog.
Correct.
And that's the way it is for all of this stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
Like every year I make a goal for myself. Okay, like I want to throw a jig, or I want to get good at flipping cover, or whatever it may be,
Correct.
That just, you may not catch as many fish one year, or you might find out you're catching more fish.
Right. Or bigger fish.
Correct. Right.
So, yeah. I mean, spinnerbaits I still use them. I got a whole box full of them, and I don't bass fish. So.
Right. Now, have you trolled them? Though?
Secretly, I think
have you trolled these?
I haven't yet. Yet. I may try that, someplace on the bay or something, along some weed edges or something. So
Brian. So I'm about to show something that when you put this thing on the table, I was like, no way.
Well, it's one of those anomalies. So, like, this is not something I would even consider having in my walleye arsenal.
No, not a
but
chance.
I have seen Mississippi River. Me and my brothers were down there fishing Pool 7. We were just crushing big pike, right? It was I don't know what they were doing in there, feeding on shad, whatever. But my older brother Josh was throwing a buzzbait. And a 28-inch walleye came up to the top. I don't know, suspended over, I think we were in 20 feet of water.
Yeah.
Ate that sucker.
Right off the top.
Right off the top. It was awesome. It's one of those things where you don't ever expect to see. And I know walleyes do eat on top, but I think it's one of those pretty rare instances.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Canada one year, and we're fishing this bay for walleyes. And we're, dragging little small crawler harnesses and stuff. And every once in a while, I hear a little splash behind me between me and like this rock bank that ran like straight down into the water. And mayfly hatch was going on.
Yep.
So I stopped doing what I was doing. I just sat and watched, like a little kid watching. And I'd see walleyes come up and grabbing mayflies off the surface. I'm like, damn, I need my fly rod right now. You know what I mean? I probably could have crushed them on the fly rod.
Yeah, and that's the one instance where I think everybody knows where walleyes feed on top. And maybe that was partially what was going on. And
they were like surfacing just like trout. You see them come up and just the head come out of the water. Yep. It was cool to see.
And for me too, like I had the privilege of working with Daryl Christensen for a long time with Head to Head, right? And Daryl always alluded to the fact that think shallow. Yeah. When you're catching walleyes, everybody thinks deep, or they right away you think walleyes, and you got to think deep. Daryl's like, a lot of people drive by a lot of walleyes, and they're in 2 feet of water or less, or 5 foot or less.
Yeah, my biggest walleye on Winnebago was 20.5 inches, 28.5, and I caught that thing in 3 feet of water in August in 85-degree water in the weed.
Yeah,
I was throwing a little small Rapala, a little husky jerk, like 12 or something like that. And I was throwing it like in weed pockets, a couple little pops, and I get hit. And my trolling motor bounced off the rocks. I wasn't paying attention to where it was, and I just made a cast. I was just getting ready to spin the trolling motor around. I made 2 pops, and I got hit in 28.5-inch walleye in the weeds in like literally 2.5, 3 feet of water, 85-degree water.
That's nuts. That is crazy. Again, good morning, everybody. Thank you for all the shares. We're getting closer. We're trying to give. What was that, Andrew? 17. We're trying to give away a rod, so we're almost there.
Morning, Jason. Morning, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks
okay.
for tuning in.
Continue on. So, do you have anything now that you're talking shallow weeds? Right. A lot of bass fishermen will flip shallow weeds. Did you bring anything like that?
Sure did. So I've caught fish on these before, walleyes on these. Boom.
And so just a bass jig.
Just a
That
bass
is
jig.
just a swim jig. Yep,
Yep.
Super K swim jig.
Yep.
Brand is your
And I
preference.
just put a big plastic on it. I had, I don't know, like some big craw thing or something I had on mine at the time. And I was flipping weeds and crushing walleyes. Again, shallow water, like 3.5, 4 feet of water, thick weeds, and just popping it across the bottom and crushing walleyes.
So now let me ask you guys,
How
right?
come I didn't catch a bass that day? I don't know, but I caught a lot of walleyes.
Right. Now, okay, so we've shown a lot of stuff, right? The buzz bait, the spinner bait, you
Yep.
know, typically the swim jig. Typically your gear is maybe a little heavier, a little more stout, right?
In general, yeah. If you're a bass guy, yeah.
For a bass guy, right?
Yep.
But then since walleye guys potentially don't have that type of gear with them, if you think one of these is in your throwing pattern that day, do you bring a bait caster,
No.
like a 7-foot heavy or something like
No.
that?
All my rods are like 7-foot medium, 7.3 medium light, 7.6 medium light. That's all I have in my
on
boat.
spinning though. So, but
On spinning rods, yeah.
I immediately think about your fly pulling rig. You could probably
yeah, but but again, you're not
'cause-
casting. You're dragging a 1 to 3 ounce. lead
But
weight.
you're running a 7-foot medium to medium heavy casting
7.3,
rod
yeah.
on with a casting reel, probably with enough power and braid. I mean,
Oh,
that would
100%.
that
You
would
could.
run that same setup.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, it's
But at the time of year I'm using that stuff, my fly rig's not even in the boat. You
we
know what I mean?
watched
It's August or something. June,
we watched some
July,
guys
August.
on Chautauqua last October or 2 Octobers ago fishing shallow weeds
Yeah.
in New York with big swim baits
Yeah.
and crushing walleyes on it. So I mean, I just want to know if do you recommend then that somebody just in case time of year is okay? Let me ask you this: time of year then is there a certain time of year or just go check it?
As the summer goes on and the water gets warm, I mean, those bait fish can relate to the weeds and stuff. So, I mean, walleyes are predatory fish, so they're chasing bait.
Yep.
So they're going to sit in the weeds and ambush stuff all day long.
And that's exactly what Brian said. You know, they're both predators in the chat there. He's
Yep.
predator fish. Rod load up, send it halfway across the lake. Send it, Dylan says.
Exactly. You get 2 hops and try not to lose them on the way back.
Again, so in Justin, if anybody's curious about this stuff, obviously therealshot.com and or in store.
Correct.
Yep. You can find them in both locations.
And like we've said before, come talk to you guys. I mean, this non-conventional stuff. Talk to Nick, even Ty. Even though Ty's a bass guy, like
Yeah, he's got a ton of walleyes on.
Oh,
on bass stuff.
you ask just about any bass fisherman how many walleyes they catch fishing bass shallow, your mind will probably be blown.
Oh yeah, I was watching. God forbid, I was watching a bass fishing tournament one day on TV, and
because you love it.
I know. And this guy was flipping docks and stuff, and just like every other cast was a walleye. He's like 17 to 19s, 20s. He's like, I don't know where the bass are, but the walleyes are here.
Yep.
Like, I mean, every time the camera was on him, he was pulling a walleye in the
pulling a
boat.
walleye. In.
Yeah.
So just before Mike gets into the next bait here, just a reminder, we are giving a Temple Fork rod away at 25 viewers across 3 platforms. We are over halfway there already. For last count, Andrew told me 20 or 17. That's a $200 rod. Justin said, say it again. 7.6 medium light.
Yep, 7.6 medium light, Tactical Bass Elite. This would it's a great rod for all kinds of applications.
Right.
So
Perfect.
gonna have it's gonna have a happy new home with a real happy winter.
Happy.
Happy.
If we get to 25.
Right.
Thanks, Terry. Terry said I've shared it across a couple of groups. Thanks, Terry.
Yeah,
you go.
thanks, Terry.
What else you got rolling on
Morning,
here? I see
Thomas.
one that I think is very much overlooked.
This guy here.
Yep.
I'm gonna try this year. I was reading some articles and stuff on it, watched a couple of videos. I've never done it. I tie my own hair jigs and stuff, so I'll probably rig up some hair jigs so I can buy just these blades. But the chatterbait,
The chatter, the bladed jig.
the
Unless you're
bladed jig,
talking
yeah.
Z-Man.
Like I said, I've never used these before, so it's definitely something I'm gonna throw
Justin,
this
have
year.
you tried this yet?
Those catch everything. I'm not even going to get
Big
into
bite,
it,
too.
but yes, I own many
Yep.
for
Many.
multiple different species.
Yeah,
for
I've never used them
Thomas.
before, and they will be in the box this year for sure.
All right, so the
Like,
bladed
how do
jig.
you even fish it? I don't even know how you fish that.
7.6 medium light spinning rod,
Perfect.
5-pound braid. Nice.
Now Z-Man makes a just a bladed jig, but more with a pill style head? Do they not, with no skirt on it?
D-Man makes like a dozen styles
Yeah.
of bladed jig.
I was
got
looking it up the other day.
they got the original. They got the mini. They got the mini max. They got
Can
the
we carry the pill style head?
big blade. I think that no, not the pill style.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Actually, I don't.
Okay, I'll try
Just
to.
a flat.
I'll see if
I
I
know
can
what
find
I
it.
Yeah, I get
I'll
it.
I'll send it to Andy while you guys are talking. If I
I
can
think
find,
of, like the original, like the Arky style head. Is that what you're thinking?
I'll see if I can find it. Or the chat's gonna beat me to it. I know that's gonna
I don't
happen.
even know how do you fish that? I don't even know. You just throw it out and bring it back.
I mean, to get real specific with bass guys, I think 7-foot medium, 7.3 medium heavy, moderate action glass is really popular for fishing those. I'm sure
Reason
Mr.
being?
Carpenter could chip in and tell us
Where's
the
Kyle?
skinny
Talk
on
to
that
us.
stuff.
Tell me how I'm supposed to fish these chatterbaits, dude.
But that's a pretty common length action for a lot of the bass fishermen. So my argument is, I don't know. You could get extremely technique specific by rod, or you could be more of a utility guy and just fish it on a 7-foot medium to medium heavy. You're gonna get the job done. You might lose a couple fish, depends on what your goal is for the day. I mean, if you're a tournament angler, losing a couple fish is not good.
That's not good.
If you're just out for fun, you may not care that much.
Right.
So,
like I was reading an article, these guys are running just plain one with, and then putting like a swim bait style body on it.
yeah, it's another just like that spinner bait. You can pull that skirt off, throw any body you want on there.
Right.
I mean,
So this is I'm gonna show you just because of the company that came up with it.
okay.
Yeah, but that's the one. So it's the Willow vibe. The Willow vibe.
And I'm just wondering what the benefit of that pill style head and a blade would be. Maybe it's
Okay.
just overall.
And there's a
resistance,
couple
but-
different. Like there's like they call it the Z-Man Naked chatterbait, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's that Arky style. That
There it is. It's the willow vibe right there.
Yeah, the Willow vibe. Yep.
The old beetle spin.
do they work, Joseph? Do they work? Yeah, the beetle spin. Yeah, that's one we didn't bring in either.
I
mean,
know.
man. That goes back.
I've got a lot of walleyes on that one, like bluegill fishing or crappie fishing on some weed edges and stuff, and I'm catching walleyes on a little tiny puny beetle spin.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those baits. I was just talking with the customer yesterday about this, like blade baits, right? They're super hot. We talked about them last week.
Yeah.
Everybody's fishing them. They've been around for like 40 years. He's like,
Longer than
the
that.
guy's like, I could probably go dig in my grandfather's
yeah,
tackle
probably got
box.
a little
yeah.
head and sonar
Yep.
or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's just it's always neat being in this industry to see how trendy things get. Like what was hot 10 years is dead and now it's hot again, and it's just kind of funny to see all these companies reinventing a product that's been on the market for 40 years. So
24 viewers right now. We need one more
Right,
across
meow.
3 platforms to get
Like,
us
what
to
happened,
25.
what happened to the wally
and then
diver?
they're gonna have to.
Like guys,
it's still out
it's
there.
still out there. Yeah.
Yep. In 4 years it'll trend
guys.
again.
We're
Right.
at 25. So are you gonna have Will randomly select somebody later on and then make a post with it on the winner?
Blade baits. What are these?
Oh,
It's like
Or
a
do you
spoon.
want to just?
Blade baits. What are those? Yeah, Jeff.
Just take your cereal spoon and put a hook on it, and then just rip it around.
Yeah.
So we'll randomly select somebody and then we'll have Will do like a live in the store with you and Mike or something like that. For
Yeah,
the
have
winner.
somebody
Yeah.
just get everybody's name on a list, and here we'll just
Yep.
drop it in a hat
Yep.
and we'll
Yeah,
make somebody happy.
So thank you. We did it. So we're gonna give away a rod today.
Boom.
And as we
Nice.
continue to get more viewers, right, we're going to give away more and more stuff. So
Correct.
there you go. So this
100%.
rod is gone. It's
No,
gone to
this
one
is
lucky viewer.
This does say
So
bass
keep
on
sharing.
it. So if a walleye angler wins it,
We can scratch it off.
we can
put
scratch
we can put a
it.
sticker on it.
It'll still catch. It'll still catch walleyes. We promise.
Well, speaking of that, Nick had a guy in the other day looking at some St. Croix rods, but he wanted a walleye one, and it said bass on it, so he refused to buy it.
No way. Isn't that crazy, though? Isn't that crazy?
The industry's
It's just
gotten better.
it's literally a stamp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, let's just be honest
Right.
with you. Good morning, everybody. Again, we hit our rod giveaway, and we're talking unconventional tactics for walleyes, and I think these guys are crushing it. So far, we've hit on the Ned rig. We talked about this spinner bait,
Yep.
right? We talked about just a swim jig,
Yep.
fishing shallow cover. Then we talked about a buzz bait, potentially one. And then we just got done talking about like the chatterbait or the bladed jig, some
Yep.
different options with that, different trailers with that, potentially swim baits, stick baits, all that kind of stuff. It just get creative. Like when the bite is slow, instead of leaving,
Try something different.
try something different.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's how I came on that Ned rig. I was watching fish on live scope literally do nothing to everything I threw at them. I threw it down there and watched the fish come up and just take it right on live.
Now, do you have more stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
grabbed
let's
all
keep going.
kinds
Well,
of
I was gonna
random-
say, like, you've kind of hit on. Do you have is jerk baits in there? Do you have jerk?
Yeah,
baits?
we got some
jerk
jerk baits.
Okay,
in
so
there.
we'll get to that one. Perfect.
So
Yep. Go ahead.
I was fishing the cane beds on Butamore and Winnick County and stuff like that. And again, same thing. It was one of those days I wasn't really catching much, doing what I normally do. And I had some of these in the box just to try out. And again, one of those things I was like, I spent one summer just trying a ton of different stuff. And
Is this in college or
Yeah.
no? What?
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry, wrong podcast.
that's for the dude factor.
Yeah, right.
Yes. You guys should come on. It's a
Right?
great time.
And so I'm in the cane beds and I started flipping lizards. And I probably wasn't rigging these right. I was just like, I probably don't have the shit for it, but I just threw a regular jig head on it. I threw these guys on, and I was catching walleyes on these guys.
Let me see what you got. Let me show. Whoa!
Oh, look out!
Pinky broke my pinky. Aaron Rodgers can't play. So can I?
Yeah, you can open
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna open these up here. So lizards, eh? And not Carolina or
Nah, I
Carolina?
just had like a regular jig head on
You
it.
were just really getting cray.
Yeah.
So this is the Zoom style here, but it doesn't matter.
No, that's exactly the one I was using.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In this exact color. Oh, sorry, Andrew. I'm trying not to move on you. There you go. So
And I just had it rigged with a regular jig head. I think I had like a 1/8 ounce jig head on, and I was slipping in the pockets of the cane beds, and I was cracking walleyes
There
on
you
them.
go.
I was like,
Is that any
okay,
better?
this is pretty cool.
So, what do you think they're in there eating frogs, or are you actually?
I think they're in there
That's-
ambushing. I mean, again, it's weeds, warmer water, and they're sitting in the shade for one, and yeah, they're just eating whatever comes by them.
He's got
Right?
got the
It
old
smells good.
twister
I like
tail on the back. That's probably just their focal point.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
The
You know
rest
what
of
I
it
mean?
makes zero.
And I was just
difference.
kind of like dragging it slow and kind of picking it up a little bit in these little pockets, and I was catching walleyes on them. And you got the power bait ones too with the max scent.
Oh, I love me some power bait smell. This is always my favorite thing to do.
Favorite thing in the morning.
See, Brian's catching snakes for bass. Are you catching snakes for walleyes?
Snakes on a plane? Catch
We
snakes?
wanna know
Snakes
what-
for bass.
What bass tackle you're catching walleyes with?
Get your morning right. Sniff
One of
back
the
scent
there,
snake
something
you
there.
bought on
Get it-
like,
get it right,
the
boys.
infomercial at 2 a.m. The one that stretches out to like 17 feet long.
Yeah, it's probably
just living
Z-Man
this
product.
big. There's just something about power bait. I just love it. I just love it in the
The
morning.
smell of power bait in the
If
morning.
they made this in a cologne, I'd wear it.
Yeah,
Oh heck yeah!
The 60% of the time it works every time.
Every time.
they have a WD-40 cologne.
Really?
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact. Oh, I was supposed to show this. I was too busy sniffing it, man. Let's get higher on our own supply over here. I was supposed to
Right?
be showing it.
Right? Oh,
What's a
boy.
little different body
What
style
else do we want to
here?
talk about today?
Keep going.
I don't know. Bring out the
Andrew, look at that.
flat.
It's all
Bring
packed.
out the dinner. The dinner hardware.
buddy.
That guy there?
The spoonage.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Grab a couple of
Some
those
fingers.
babies.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
great. Such a great smell.
And then don't
Got
forget
her, Andy?
the pre-molded swim baits. I grabbed a couple
Okay.
of those too.
Oh, yeah. These guys here.
All right, this is an old school classic. Oh, Matt's still on. Matt's still stiffing the
Dylan is
power
a super
bait.
fan. He's watched so many TRS lives. He says it's not a TRS live until Trot sniffs a bag of plastics. He's not wrong. But we used to do them upstairs in the room. I anything power bait, man, I was always nose deep. Oh, what you guys threw some different stuff at me.
Right?
Should open one of those Kitech bags and have you pick a pull.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Here we go. So
Grab
now we got little Cleos.
Yeah, that's it's not really a sleeper, but that thing's another staple that's been around for 100 years.
Yeah. Again, like we were on Bago and I was throwing one technique. My buddy was just bomb casting. It was like all the way across the bay and getting two cranks on his reel and crushing walleyes on them. Again, shallow. We were fishing, like 4 feet of water, weed tops, and yeah, he was pounding walleyes on those.
Yep. Andy, we have him here. Do you see him? Yep. Just so little Cleo spoons.
That
Yeah.
Taking spoons. Weird.
Yeah.
I've had
Excuse
bites
me.
where I grew up in Marinette, Menominee. It's where I
Yep.
spend a lot of my time, and there'd be midsummer alewives move in the river mouth. You'd be
Yeah.
casting over 28 feet. Fish are blowing up on alewives on top, and you're catching walleyes. I mean, you're catching some giant sheephead in the mix.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I mean, they eat them.
Right.
Again, it's not just mental profile. It's match the
Correct.
hatch, gonna get bit.
Well, it's no different than right now, right? The blade bait's working because it's a reaction bite.
Yeah.
Why the spoon would work? I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
during Daryl, just huge jigging spoon guy.
Yep.
It's all he ever talked about, right?
Right.
I had fishing on a 7-foot medium rod with, monofilament, 20-pound mono, and I just snap her and let her rip.
Yep.
And Daryl caught a ton of fish on it.
Probably big 1 ounces too, probably, or something like
Yeah,
that. You know
and
what
I
mean?
witnessed it. I got to fish with Daryl doing that. He caught a lot of gobies doing it, so you did a great job. Look, see, now we got Derry and Brad are going to show up. They're going to get your guys' autographs today.
Yes.
They're coming to the Real Shot today. Or you can also shop online at therealshot.com.
Right.
What is it? Raffle trap? Who's that? Rattle traps on shallow reefs and weeds. Well, we got one in the box.
Ooh.
Did we got one in there?
We brought that.
Snag and spoon, says Kyle. Kyle's always an instigator.
That's those bass guys.
Well, that's
for you,
Mike.
man.
We've talked about this before.
In
That's,
the
they're
mouth,
pinning
Kyle,
it,
in the
guys.
mouth.
Pinning it. Yeah, they
They're
pin it to the
like
bottom
this.
there.
They come down, they pin it.
Yeah. And
They're so used
that's
to-
why they get hooked right here.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe it.
Pin it.
It's funny how they get hooked on the lift all the time, too. Right?
I love Dylan. I was thinking the same thing with the Geico for the insurance. All right, let's get rattling, boys. Let's fire it up here. So we got rattle traps.
Yeah, so that's who is that? I don't know. It stream scrolled too fast, but regardless, so Rip and Rap's one of the most popular lipless crank, right? Every walleye fisherman in the spring knows it. There are hundreds of brands of bass tackle brands that make a lipless crankbait.
Yeah.
You know, the original rattle trap, right? Bill Lewis. Here's the deal,
They
right?
made 7,000 colors of.
Yeah, I think we have of lipless cranks in the store. I think we got 8 or 12 feet, and there's multiple brands.
Huge assortment. Yep.
Yeah.
Monster, yeah.
So
Well,
they all have different rattle chambers. They all have different fall rates or fall. Some fall nose down, like a Rip and Rap is a real nose heavy bait. So if you watch that red eye shad fall on a slack line, it'll actually fall horizontal.
Okay.
So it won't tip down. So it's a little bit slower fall rate. So sometimes where, the speed of the drop or the fall rate makes a difference, you might want to switch it up. But lipless crankbaits are easy to fish and everything eats them.
So
again, something different than 90% of the guys are running.
Right.
Out. You go to a condo at ice out and guys are throwing 6 and 7 Rip and Raps. Why would you not try and throw that?
And I mean, a lot of the stuff we're talking about is central Wisconsin or Wisconsin, the walleye area, right? The walleye belt, if you want to call it. But I mean, there's walleyes all over the United States. These tactics will work everywhere.
I don't know what the other mouth is. Is that like the key? Is that like typing on a keyboard? Is that the other mouth?
Okay.
Sorry. Brad was thinking he's going to fish the Nakusa Dam. Okay. Well,
good luck.
yeah. Let us know. Send us pictures. Send us pictures of the Real Shot socials of how you guys do it.
Fresh snow should help things.
Right?
Yeah.
Let us know your technique, Brad, too. Let me know what you caught fish on.
Look at all these people. Good
Look at
morning,
Ryan sharing.
everybody.
Hey, Ryan, share me some info, too, bro. Shit, spread the love. It's too cold to wade in the water. You're crazy. No way, man.
All right, what else? What else we got?
here?
We're talking unconventional walleye tactics here, kind of in more of the bass world. We already gave away a rod because we hit 25 viewers, and then Justin's got more stuff for the next couple of shows. We're going to give away. Oh, Tubey Tubes.
We grabbed a couple of tube brands. There's probably one key brand we didn't bring in, but I'm waiting on new packaging.
So the tubes.
Tubes, yeah.
Size matter. Always.
I think I was running like 3s or something. But everyone says size doesn't matter.
All right.
Justin's happy about that.
I think.
for sure.
Ooh, bazinga. I'm the one who's sitting over here with the 7.6, bruh.
Yeah, right. But tubes, another great one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also more, you can fish it more weedless too at times, or it goes through the weeds a little bit better. So when those fish are warm water up in the shallow weeds.
Or rocks in the spring.
Or rocks,
too,
yep.
I've dragged them on rocks in the spring.
Right.
Yeah, see, Jason says tube. Yeah, they just do. I don't know. It's smallie guys. So that's probably one of those things where smallmouth fishing, walleye fishing, is a lot of the tackles so much crossover. It's almost the same gear for a lot of applications.
Right.
So
well, and
they live in a lot of the similar spots on a lot of
100%.
bodies of water. So your
So-
smallie guys probably run into a lot more walleyes than your largemouth guys would be my guess.
I've fished with Kyle Carpenter's in the chat quite a bit. And
Who's
like,
that guy?
Yeah.
Some guy?
I don't know.
We call
some
him
guy.
KC.
KC.
Yeah. I actually call him Lyle.
Yeah.
Lyle a lot. But we were fishing for smallies one day, and he's like, I've watched all these guys take these big swim baits and rip them, and it was crazy. He started pounding walleyes doing it, literally, like giant walleyes. In my opinion, like 24s, 25s.
Those are good fish.
But the thing about it is too is like he was fishing the same spot that we were catching smallmouth with, just 2 casts prior. But it was like, I'm like, Kyle, why do you think these walleyes are hitting that and not smallies? He goes, because it's where they are, you know,
in the water column.
In the water column and how they feed, right?
Yep.
Smallies more along the bottom, hops, slow hops, whatever else. But he used big rips with these big old swim baits
and
and
come up and just snatching
just
them.
smashing it. It was awesome.
I know what we forgot. We forgot the A-rig, bro.
Oh, I bet you if we
Never
asked
heard of
nicely,
it.
Kyle can go get an A-rig sample for you.
I know,
You
right?
probably got Jess drawers probably full. You probably can't put
Right?
anything in there. There's so freaking many A-rigs.
Jerk baits.
I'm pretty sure that's what he puts on top of his Christmas
Yeah, he
tree. Instead of
probably
a star,
does.
it's
Yeah,
a bunch
it's
of
A-rigs.
A
A-rigs.
bunch of A-rigs sitting up there.
Jerkbait. Now,
baits.
here's one thing I want to get into with this too. Like, this is the time of year where they're targeting bass per se, right? A lot of bass anglers are targeting bass. Look, they're live scoping.
Yep.
You can do the same thing for walleyes,
100%.
right?
100%. I've done it on Bago, fishing
I'll
rocky
skip
shorelines.
baby one bit for pillow.
Right?
Right? I'm going to go get that if it buzzes again.
Oh, it will.
Fishing rocky shorelines and stuff like that. Shallow water, 8-9 feet of water or less. Got a lot of walleyes on those. I don't know. I don't even know how much they cost, like $17 or some shit. Or I'm catching walleyes on them.
That's one of the first techniques for both anglers, right? Bass and walleye alike. Crankbaits, jerkbaits, stick baits,
Yeah.
whatever. It's cold water technique. Not necessarily, but majority of guys fish it that way. So.
Yep.
Right.
And we got a huge selection of jerks too. We got I got jerks to my left. I got jerks to my
Yeah, I was
right.
gonna say. I was gonna go there, but
Right,
you went there
right.
first. Lucky.
What else we got in here we can talk about?
Lucky.
Yeah. Yeah,
Funny
and
guy.
like Dylan said too, that Savage 3D Goby,
Yeah,
I think
bring
that's
those
an underrated
These
bait.
guys here,
Yeah, bring those out.
that I'm intrigued by.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a tube, it's not a net, it's not a swim bait. Wait, it is a swim bait. I lied. No, it's just a Megabass Dark Sleeper and the Berkeley's version, the HD. What do they call that one again?
This is Yellow Perch, and this is the
There it is.
Agent E.
Why you just gotta be chucking stuff
Oh,
at
sorry,
me, bro?
Andrew. I was looking. It's Agent E again.
Agent E.
Mike,
Agent E.
we're not done yet. Don't.
Oh, I gotta blow my
There's
back
a
up.
big old.
I need some water after watching that.
I
I'm getting
know,
a little
right?
parched.
Oh,
Eating up.
cancel
But
over.
before we jump into what Kyle
Yeah.
just threw you. Thanks, Kyle. By the by. Okay, so the Dark Sleeper, the Agent E. Again, I think I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I would. That Savage Gear is overlooked. They also make something like this, don't they?
They do, yep.
Yep.
And we got an end cap of all three, and I didn't grab that one, but yeah, they have. It's kind of funny because the pre-rigged swim bait body, lead plastic poured around lead has been around
A million years.
again. One of those things that like Storm has made for
Yeah.
ages, right? But it's just the companies have perfected weight and body size and action, and maybe it's a softer plastisol. Just so many things add and make some of these newer baits better than their previous designs.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and this is one that just flat out catches fish.
Right.
You can fish it so many different ways. You can swim it, you can hop it, you can drag
Drag
it,
it.
you can
Yep.
It's so awesome. An awesome bait. These are definitely ones, and especially they're weedless. These are really, really weedless, and
Right.
they can handle a lot of fish catches on them.
well, yeah. So the Dark Sleeper, they hide the hook. It's kind of really unique way they
It's
do
up
it.
here in the fin.
Yeah,
Up
they
in that
actually
dorsal fin?
mold the dorsal fin around the hook, so
where
it's
the
a space.
Agent E.
Or the Agent E is just a large. It's just a monofilament keeper, or
Yeah.
it's a.
Have you fished the Agent E at all?
I have not.
Hey, Mike,
Actually,
have you?
I don't
I
really
haven't,
fish
yeah.
either much.
I haven't fished.
Really?
If I did, I'd need a bigger boat, which I probably already do, but
You still need a bigger boat, or
Yeah,
you
I
need more
need a
of these
bigger boat.
baits?
Brad's,
look
Brad's
at
a
this
Dark
tackle.
Sleeper fan.
This is a huge pile of baits. I mean, this is again like last week we talked about. You grabbed like the huge assortment of plastics we have. Again, this is just a small sampling of what the Real Shot carries.
Yeah, I'm picking between a dozen styles of each sample. I mean, there's just so many options. Maybe that's confuses anglers at times. It does for me too. Like you either use at work or you're always trying new stuff, and
Right.
I don't know. Part of me that's the fun of it. Like if you get on a real hot bite, right?
Yeah, why not just grab some else at the
What
bottom and
else
catch
will
them
they
on?
eat? Just
Right.
to see. Like is it
Yeah, will they eat
that bait or
black
is it
licorice?
just really aggressive fish? And that's how most fishing shows are made.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
True story.
True
So
story.
most of those guys make their money too.
Yep.
You know.
Hey,
All right, so
highlight
you-
this. Let's highlight this bait on a bite. They eat everything. Fantastic.
Well, Jeff was on, and Jeff was the first Guided Life I've ever filmed, and we actually went out and we trolled bass plastics crawlers. We had the Jackal, we had some Mega Bass crawlers. We did that. It's actually on Fix TV. You can watch it there. But we trolled bass plastics compared to crawlers, and I think the first walleye we caught that day was on the
believe it
Mega
was,
Bass
too,
or the Jackal. I can't remember which
I think
one.
it was the Mega Bass one. I think.
Yeah, it
I
was
remember
like the
watching
4-inch natural crawl or whatever it was.
Yep.
But it's
Wait,
great products.
And to piggyback that too, Berkeley's got their new spinner rig crawler.
Oh, they made one.
They had one a few years back.
they
I want to
did.
say like 17 or 18, and then they discontinued it. I don't know if it was just garbage or what, but they came out with a new one that I'm really excited about.
I think it's just hard. You know, again, this goes back to what you love, I hate versus tackle and techniques. But I think these companies have tried so hard to get that artificial crawler to stick.
Yep.
And it just, people get so set in their ways. If it's not a live crawler on the back of the harness, you're probably not going to get bit.
Right.
Right.
And I'm sure some days there's some truth to that, but like Uncle Josh, we stock it. They came back out with their meat crawler, right?
Did they come out with it again?
Yep.
Yep.
It was popular for years, and then I think they had some issues sourcing pigs or pork fat or pork skin.
What are you talking about? I got plenty.
You can't use humans, so
Says
that
who?
otherwise you'd work for Uncle Josh.
I
But
know,
so
right?
like we do stock it. It's back out. Yeah, you started it. I wasn't even going there. Again, it's just another option that you have for, it's not live bait. It's organic, but it's not live bait.
Right.
Right.
Is it the motion in the ocean? That kind of thought too.
Flavor.
Right. But
yeah.
I actually showed Jeff that day, and it kind of opened his eyes. I'm like, Jeff, look at how soft these things are.
Yeah.
Maybe
that new spinner rig crawler, like the first couple inches is like a thicker body to attach the hooks, and that flattens out.
Yep.
So it stays the same width, but it's flat. So it got some cool action. I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, and a lot of it's okay. Let's talk about it, right? Like price comparison. Well, plastics aren't cheap. Crawlers are maybe a little cheaper, but those prices have gone up a lot. But you got to look
Yep.
at the headache, right? You got dirt, right? If you're not going to use the dirt, then you got to put them in paper towel or worm bedding. Then you
Yep.
got to go through all those steps. Plus, you got to keep the damn things alive. There's
I mean,
if that headache's okay with you, then that's fine. But if it's not, then throw some plastic.
I think
throw
the
some
cool
of
thing
this
about
stuff.
plastics too is like if you're dragging harnesses and you get bit and he pops off, what are you doing? You're pulling that board in,
Yep.
rebaiting. With the plastic, you don't have to unless I doubt he ripped it off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Can't follow that stream, Andy. If you
No,
just keep
there.
ripping.
Will is working with Andy right now to select the winner. So we're going to announce the winner of the
Oh.
rod before we get off the air.
Nice.
You guys are good.
I
You're
had
on
to
it.
message Will. I'm like, you should probably get your butt down here, bro, because we got a rod to give away.
Thank you, Will.
So that's why the chat's kind of flaring up. That
I'm
we
like,
do
I can't-
apologize why they're
he's
trying to
catching
select the name.
browns on a dark sleeper. He said.
Yeah, there's some big dark sleeper fans. Obviously, there should be. It's a great product.
Great, and I can't remember. I think it was Brad or somebody that said it. It skips really nice, and
Yep.
it's a great. It's a great.
And
bait.
for reference, we stock all sizes, all colors of the dark sleeper. Again, in store and on the realshot.com. So,
Shot.com.
I got a fin fact for you on the dark sleeper. So Kozik and I were fishing it, and he had, I think it was just a chartreuse clear or whatever one color it is.
Yep.
And we had some of the product we had last week, the dip and dye,
Yep.
and I dunked it, boom, in a pink, I think it was.
Like the head of it or the tail
The
of
whole
it?
entire
the whole
bait.
thing?
The whole bait.
think
It
I've seen that laying on
maybe
your
this
desk.
size, maybe one of the sizes smaller than this. Dunked the whole thing in there, and it kind of gave it like more of a clown look, like a pink clown
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
First cast, caught a fish on it. So that's the thing. Like we
First
talked about
cast,
last.
Sleeper
not
gill?
good.
Yeah. But it's like, the sleeper gill. But with the scent stuff too, just get creative. You see so many. If you follow Ike Anelli, that guy's always talking about using those spike it pens, probably because he's getting paid to do it. But
Yeah, I think Brian on the chat said like he likes the black Sharpie markers. I mean, the spike it marker is the same thing, it's just garlic scented. So
Dylan mentioned the Tokyo rig. I forgot. I was going to bring that in. I forgot.
oh yeah, Tokyo, one of my faves.
yeah, I love this. It just shows how many guys are definitely dipping into that bass market that are,
Yep.
great walleye fishermen. So.
Well, I think the guys are starting to realize you don't have to be out in 25 feet of water to catch walleye.
Yeah, see, Jason says his wife doesn't like crawlers in the fridge. No, she doesn't. She likes power bait and plastic in your basement, or in your boat, or in your garage.
So, what time is it, Andrew? It is 9:49, and I was just informed that they randomly went through the list of all the names, right? And we have a winner.
Oh,
And so, if you look there, we have a message from Kyle Carpenter, but then the gentleman just below that, would you guys like to announce that is your winner right there?
Kyle Carpenter.
No, the message
Did not
below
win.
it.
Kyle
Brad
Carpenter did not
Stemper.
win.
Brad Stemper.
Brad Stemper.
Brad Stemper.
I know. I was
saying,
just playing.
no.
I was just messing
You guys
around.
gonna get me in trouble here. It's rigged. It's rigged.
Rigged,
No.
right?
So Brad Stemper, you
Brad.
are the winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yay!
Congratulations, man. You're gonna love it.
So
Told-
Brad Stemper,
told Justin,
go
get
ahead
all of 'em.
and message the Real Shot Facebook page, which you're already on, and then will be in touch with you and get either your address, or if you're local, go ahead and you can stop in store. Are you guys going to side that for Brad?
Are we gonna sign it?
Yeah,
Of course we will.
Yeah, I think you should.
We could. So, Brad, I got one ask for you. When you get this rod and you fish with it, we would like you to send us a picture of the first fish you catch.
Well,
on
I
this
think
rod.
that Will should also take a picture of Brad. Either if Brad's not local, like when Brad gets it, send us a picture, Brad, and or if you're local, Brad, have Will take a picture of you so people know that it is
For
legit
sure.
tater chip. What else? So you got a couple more things here. We're closing in on that 10 o'clock time frame. We could do this for hours. There it is.
Boom. I haven't tried this yet. I haven't run one of these yet, but
I don't even know what this thing is.
I know, I'm like, I don't even know how to rig this thing, dude. Like, I don't even have a rod heavy enough to throw this thing.
Well, that is one issue. You start loading that baby up with jig and plastic, it's
Right.
a little heavy.
So
I
I would
know they do
I
make
would
some
say to
smaller
Brad though, you're
ones.
not going to want to throw that thing on the
On the
7.6 medium
medium
light.
light.
You might.
Right?
I mean, you could if you don't put anything else on it. But you're not going to get bit because
Just
there's
lob
no.
it like a
You
surf
lock
rod,
that drag
right?
down. That's awesome.
So there's your A rig right there.
There it is. Here, toss it here. The chandelier, the A rig. There it is. So pretty.
Yeah, I know Lance said he caught walleyes on
Oh
it.
yeah.
So,
So this is one that kind of ties into last Friday's show. You put your jig, your swim baits on there. There's different style heads, Justin, that will fit this bad boy. It's based off of how deep you are, how deep the fish are.
right.
You know, how much drag. There's a lot of drag, but this is more or less you're throwing this thing on big old rod and reel combinations.
Yeah, I would probably
Bet you
have to
control
assume that the
this.
majority of the
Walleyes
true
don't have a-
pure walleye fishermen probably don't have tackle heavy enough. But if you are interested in leveling up some gear, we can certainly help you out.
I bet
Like,
you
like if
control
you're gonna
this
rig
thing.
that up for walleye, what would you put on there? Like, what size jig heads would you run on there? Like, small as possible?
Yeah, I'd probably run.
With 16.
So the thing is, you run 3/16. Now you got 3/16, 3 1/16 ounce jigs, and then you add plastics added
plastics on
16
it.
to an eighth of an ounce. So by the time you're done, you might have 2 to 3 ounce, 2 ounce chunk of money there. So
Now, and here's the thing: you have to pay attention to your local regulations when you throw this thing, because if you're throwing 3 hooks on it, that you have to go by state law, right?
Right.
So on this, like say in Wisconsin, you can throw 3 baits on this.
Yep.
Now you have to either run dummies or extra blades up here.
Right.
Some states, it doesn't matter. There's no regulation on the rig. You can have all 5 of these things have sharp dangly hooks on them. You know what I'm saying? But then, Minnesota, they can only have one, I believe.
think, yeah.
So everything else would have to be a swim bait dummy besides 1 hook.
Right.
And that's the way the design is here. This back one is a little longer than everything else. So, sometimes this is the one, sometimes it's down here, but it's a lot of times it's this one here. So you just got to play with it if you're going to do it.
I think
But
that's funny. Minnesota 1, right? Wisconsin 3, and then North Dakota. I think you can put dynamite on there.
I think so.
So
right?
it's funny how this
Right.
each state's
Just drag a
DNR
net,
manages their fisheries differently.
So yeah, this is one where, again, like I've talked to Kyle a bunch on it.
Morning, Robert.
We're working on a guided life that we shot a couple years back where he does talk about, he goes real in depth on the A-rig.
the
He does,
A-rig.
and we're smallie fishing, but again, a lot of the same things cross over.
Right.
So that one will be coming out, shortly. But yeah, there's a lot of good now, and that's one too where if you do have any questions and Ty's not here or something like that, you can always reach out to the page, and Kyle can help us out
That's
with
funny.
that too.
Jason said some states even manage the number of spinners you can have on that.
Isn't that crazy?
What? For real?
That is a micromanaging to a level that's unnecessary. Seriously.
Go to Mexico, you can connect 3 of them together.
Right?
But we did some research on it, and that bait actually got its start for, I think they were fishing tuna with it. The gentleman, I can't remember his name by the life of me right now, but they made it for ocean fishing. They were catching tuna on it.
That makes
Okay.
sense. I
And then
see that.
the big
all day.
schooling factor, that's what it's designed for,
Yeah.
is big schools of
Yeah,
bait
but you
fish.
look at a spinner bait and look at that. There's a lot of similar characteristics. It's
Correct.
just an extra blade, an extra arm,
Yep.
and more
Yep.
blades, and
Yep.
so
So is that it? I mean, we went through a ton of stuff that's all available at the Reel Shop, but did you have anything else that we want to get to? I know Brad and his buddy are driving. Terry, I think they're driving here. They're ready to meet you guys up front.
Right?
No,
Nice.
but again, Brad Stemper, you are the winner of the TFO rod. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
I'm not trying to wrap it up, but I'm just saying, I just want to thank everybody. Do you have anything else, guys, or do we got to wrap her up?
I think
Pretty much covered a ton of stuff.
yeah, you could
All that I
you
can think
could
of,
like
really. I mean,
we could go to the floor and come back with another bin full of goodies. Like you could
Right.
just there
Well,
are
we got to
so
save
many
a little
different
bit
lures.
for next Friday.
Yep.
yeah.
Now, next Friday, do we want to get into rod reel combinations?
Yeah, we can.
Is that
Yeah.
so? We're kind of the topics last couple Fridays have been walleye, spring
Yep.
walleye. That's what's here right now, right?
Yep.
And as the seasons progress, we get into maybe panfish because I think that's one thing that people overlook for this store is we have an awesome panfish selection.
Right.
Yep.
Incredibly awesome panfish selection.
Correct.
So as we get into that, but right now we're just going to hit that walleye window, and then kind of move forward.
Target the spawn chasers.
Maybe we'll stay on walleye while we're in the season.
Yep.
In season, just I don't-
We could also two-part it, Mike. You could talk a little turkey while you're on here next Friday if you
Maybe
want.
we'll see.
Yeah, he's not real jacked up about that.
Not really. I'm all like
jerky. I mean, it's exciting. It's not exciting as launching your boat in the Fox River right now. You want to rush?
Exactly. It,
Get
right?
after it.
I do before we wrap this one up. Then okay, I like Dylan's comment. Just cut a stab off your leather belt and fish
Soak
it
it in
for
the
Uncle
juice.
Josh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, pretty much. Right.
Yep.
Right? You ain't gonna get it off the hook. You might just cut off, throw it in the garbage, and you're done.
So soak it in some cherry chew
Right?
spit, and you'll
Some
be good to
Kool-Aid
go.
or something.
Right. Well, again, guys, you did a phenomenal job. I think we found out that there are a lot of good morning, Bob. There's a lot of crossover happening now, and I think the world is onto it a little bit, which they should be. And like what I wanted to say too is like you talked about the tournament aspect, right? Run and crawlers. We wanted to push the envelope with our events, right? That's why we
Yeah.
only went to artificials
Which
only.
I thought was awesome.
And if you want to sell baits, you got
Right.
you got to go artificial world.
Right. 100%.
And just, to go along with that, it's just don't be afraid to try some of this stuff.
Exactly it. I mean, it's about confidence as one. Two, I mean, if you're catching them in the spring, why can't you catch them in the summer on it
Yep.
all year long? You know what I mean?
Perfect. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today to Friday's TRS Live Podcast. I got Mike Williams, Justin Munt. They are on the sales floor pretty much every day.
No, one of us is.
One of
Other guy's buying all the tackle, so I mean, there's that.
But before we wrap her up, tell us store hours, phone number, and website, all that information.
Store hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 to 6. Thursday, Friday, 9 to 7. Saturday, 8 to 5. Store phone number is 920-750-6140. Website is www.thereelshot.com. REEL. Realshot.com.
OT.
Perfect. Thanks so much,
Correct.
guys. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. If you are on the roads, do travel safely, and we'll talk
Yeah.
to you next Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Perfect. Catch you guys later, boys.
Yep. Appreciate you.